so we can go high. Yeah. Trying to get stoned, we can share the light. Know ourselves a party, everyone's invited. Yeah. This for all my friends, we go way back. Got a bond for life, I can't break that. If we catch a charge, I'ma take that. Anything for my dogs and their straight facts. I cannot figure out why the hell they lied to me. I cannot scout no girl, I ain't doing no pottery. I don't even do it for the
What's up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Chris, back at it again. It's another Nerds at 9. I know if you've been rocking with me, I actually missed last night. Oh, I am. Oh gosh, I am. Give me 1 second. I am just. I think something good has gone wrong with my Streamlabs here. Sorry, I'm just. As soon as I go live, it's always something. But here we are. Obviously rock with the vibes, recreation on the music. Give him a follow if you aren't already. He makes good music, he does good stuff. Other than that, subscribe to this channel for any type of sports content you're looking for. We're going to talk about it, all the biggest sports stories out there. We're going to 10-15 minutes like we always do, just talking sports here. I'm going to start. Obviously, I made the title and the bio of this one pretty much all NBA, so that's really what I've been watching these last few days. I know the NCAA tournament's been on, but I don't know, for some reason college basketball, it doesn't have the same excitement that it normally does for me. Maybe my bracket, was just so bad this year. That's possible. That's part of the reason for me, but yeah, NBA, we're about 2.5 weeks from the playoffs, so it's really heating up here. Teams are starting to round into shape, into form, so I'm going to be talking about some NBA futures. There are still, opportunities out there, get in before the playoffs start, as news is happening, as things are shaping up here. There's still some value out there, I think, so I will get into that. I did want to talk, but before I can talk about any teams winning the conference, especially in the West, I got to talk about Ja Morant. Latest report, he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks with the knee injury, so that's kind of scary. Definitely with, like I said, the playoffs only 2.5 weeks away. Well, maybe about 3 weeks for the playoffs. 2.5 weeks to the end of the regular season, so he might miss the rest of the regular season. Obviously, I talked a couple days ago about how I thought they would be my pick right now to win the West. So obviously, they're going to need their best player to do that. We'll see. I think he's going to play in the playoffs for sure. So I think they can still do things, but I think it's a big hit. Just for chemistry, he's going to be trying to work his way back into the rotation and into the vibes of the team. So I'm kind of backing off the Grizzlies a little bit just with this news. They are 15-2 this season without him. So, maybe they could, win some games even if he's not playing up to, his 100% potential that he's been playing at this season. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one for them. You guys can let me know what you think about, their chances to come out of the West now with that news. But yeah, I did want to talk also about some better news for a West Conference rival, you could say. The Phoenix Suns got Chris Paul back last night. He had a fractured right thumb. I think he missed 15 games, they said. So pretty long absence. He missed about a month, a little bit more, obviously with the All-Star break in there and everything. But yeah, 17 points, 13 assists. Looked really good. They beat the Nuggets. Devin Booker did his thing, 49 points, 10 assists himself. So the Suns right now, I'm not sure if they've locked up the number 1 seed, but they got to be getting close. They're up by, I think, nine games right now, or 9.5 games on the 2 seed Grizzlies. Obviously, Ja Morant's out. That really hasn't held the Grizzlies back, but that just goes to show the Suns have been, really good. They already have 60 wins. Getting into the, some of the futures bets here, the Suns are the favorites right now in the West. So that's something, right? That's who Vegas and the odds makers, they put a lot of time and work into this, and they have the Suns as the number 1 team, to come out of the West. And honestly, they're the number 1 team right now to win the championship. So they're plus 125 to come out of the West and plus 300. So obviously, it's still solid odds there on both of those things if you believe in the Suns. I think with this news to the Grizzlies, obviously, it makes it easy to pick the Suns for sure. So, yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. But yeah, I was just saying, it's real easy to pick the Suns with all that, with the news out there, with the way things are trending, with Chris Paul coming back. So I think that, obviously that's the safest bet right now. I would probably take that if I had to choose one. But I'll throw some of the other names out there, some contenders in the West. Golden State Warriors, plus 310. Obviously, Steph Curry has been out a little bit now, like about a week. He's going to be out at least another week and a half, according to the latest reports I've seen. So that leaves, about a week left in the season for him to potentially play. Again, just not good vibes. The Warriors have been a little unlucky this year. Haven't really got Clay, Draymond, and Steph on the court together all that much. They've been relatively healthy, but not at like the same time. So I don't like the Warriors right now. I wouldn't take that at 310. The Jazz plus 750. I'm not a fan of the Jazz. The Grizzlies at plus 800. Like I said, the Ja Morant thing, the vibes aren't good, but they've been a good team with and without him this year. I think, I don't like 100% trust the Suns to do. I know they did it last year. A lot of things kind of broke right for them last year, I felt like, with injuries. Obviously until Chris Paul went down, which, that's always a risk with him. So I think those are the two that I would, look at in the West right now. The Lakers are all the way down at plus 6,000. So that's 9th best odds in the West. I know what I've said about them missing the playoffs, and I still think they will miss the playoffs. But, if you're a LeBron fan and you believe in him, crazier things have happened. He is an all-time great player, no matter where you want to put him on your all-time list. So at plus 6,000, even just a 10 spot or something, could pay off big. But I wouldn't. But hey, those are the three. Those are the three names. Like anybody else, I feel like you're just kind of throwing your money away if you choose the West. But you guys can disagree with me if you want. We'll see what happens there. The East is a lot more difficult for me right now. There's a lot of good teams. The Nets are the favorites right now, according to Vegas, even though they're down in the 9th seed in the East. So that's tough. I think they might have moved up into the 8th. Dropped back down to the 9th. Whatever. They are the favorites in the East, according to Vegas. I don't necessarily agree with that, even though I think they can still win the championship, even if Ben Simmons doesn't come back. I don't know if this is taking that into account or not. If they think Ben Simmons will play in the playoffs. I did when he first got traded to the Nets, but now I'm kind of at a place where I just don't believe in Ben Simmons anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, just not in his game, but just in the fact that he's going to play this year. It's just been one thing after another. And usually how these things go, it doesn't usually end up well, in my opinion. So, like I said, I still think the Nets could win it. I believe in KD. I think he's it's between him and Giannis for the best player in the Eastern Conference. Joel Embiid, obviously, as well. But you know, I like the wing players. Like KD is pretty much the same height as Joel Embiid. He might not be the same like size, but you know he's just a better perimeter player and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Joel Embiid is just as dominant, but like I don't know. Just Giannis and KD, I think, are more equipped to carry a team through a playoff run. You know, I could be wrong about that. We've yet to see it from Joel Embiid. Yeah, right now the 76ers are the 5th best odds at plus 500. So I don't think the 76ers really have all that much of a chance. Personally, I mean, I'm not going to say they don't have a chance. I'll walk that back a little bit. I think James Harden obviously is a good player. Like, he's not bad, but he just hasn't stepped up in the playoffs like pretty much ever. So I'm just not trusting it until I see it. Embiid, I think he's going to show up, and I think he's going to play good, but I think some of these other teams are just too high-powered. Like, if the Nets are on, even without Ben Simmons, I think that's a good, like, they might not be able to stop Embiid, but I don't think the 76ers are going to be able to stop the whole arsenal that the Nets has just in terms of shooting. If KD and Kyrie are leading the way with, you know, if they're getting 30 apiece, they're going to be a tough out for anyone. So I would take the Nets over them. The Bucks, I think, you know, without Ben Simmons, I might think about the Bucks. They're at better odds, just in terms of, you know, futures bets here. Plus 310 for the Bucks, plus 260 for the Nets. So I think that one can go either way. I would lean, you know, towards the Bucks just with the better odds. They got the Celtics right now at plus 410. So if you think the Celtics are gonna go, I think they could. They've been on a good run. I feel like you kind of missed out on the opportunity to get them at a bargain or at a good spread. I guess I should say. I'm wrong terminology here, but if you guys know what I'm saying. You guys could have got them at better odds than they are right now at 410, because you know they were down in the standings a little bit, and they've been on fire lately, just beating teams left after right and just destroying them, good teams too. So yeah, other than that, Heat at plus 480. They're the number 1 seed in the East right now, but I just think they're on a downward trend. So not a big fan of them. Other than that, like the Cavs, they're on a downward trend. I think the Raptors, they're on the upswing. I think they could pass the Cavs for that 6th seed. Make the Cavs have to win a play-in game to make the playoffs, but I don't know. I think, you know, I don't think the Raptors have the star power to win it all. And then moving below that, other than the Nets down there, obviously, but I think those are the teams in the East. It's definitely going to come down to the Nets and the Bucks for me. The 76ers and the Celtics, I say, would have an outside chance. And yeah, other than that, that's who I'm going with. You guys can let me know why I'm right or wrong in the comments on Instagram, whatever. But yeah, other than that, just if you want to go for the whole thing, the Suns are at plus 300, the Nets plus 550, the Bucks plus 650. Who else did I say would have a chance? I guess the Warriors plus 650, Celtics plus 950, Grizzlies at plus 1900 down there, and then Lakers at plus 10,000. So again, with the the $10 thing on the Lakers might be just, hey, you might be throwing away $10, but you could, it's kind of like a lottery ticket situation with one of the best players of all time. So not the worst thing you can do. But yeah, with those, obviously I'm going either. I think the Suns at plus 300. To win the whole thing, that's tough, especially with Chris Paul's injury history. This team being a younger team, even though they were in the finals last year, they have the experience. So I'm not going to keep holding being young against them. I just think the main thing for me, Chris Paul injury status. I don't like that bet, just being that it's the worst odds you can get on any team. So I'm thinking Bucks at plus 650 is a good chance to repeat, I say. And then, if you believe in the Nets and Ben Simmons coming back, that plus 550 is looking really good. And then, like I said, my long shot team, the Memphis Grizzlies, plus 1900. So that's what I would do. I mean, obviously, it's no type of financial advice. Don't go out here and do anything, just because I said something. But that's just what I'm thinking for the NBA. I'm ready for the playoffs here. Some of these first round series could be incredible. Even some of these play-in games. I think this one is going to be one of the most exciting playoffs in recent years, just because we don't really know who's going to go, and it kind of happened last year, but even more so this year, and not because of injury, just because I think a lot of teams are pretty evenly matched. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Did want to talk real quick about Anthony Davis. The reports are saying now he could play as early as the first week of April, which would give him, about a week to play a few regular season games before the playoffs start, or before the play-in game, because that's, their only hope right now. I still think they could miss the playoffs. They're only 2 games up on the Spurs, so, whenever he's ready to go, they're probably going to bring him back, for better or for worse. Obviously, they're not going to be stupid, and bring him back when, it's a big risk that, he'll get re-injured or anything like that, but we'll see what happens there. I'm not, like, that's the only reason I'm saying, those on the futures bets, the Lakers, they have an outside chance. They have the star power, if nothing else, and they have the experience. They've done it before, so there it is with the NBA. Real quick, the NCAA tournament was crazy last night. I am going to mention just a couple things here. First, both number 1 seeds that played last night went down. Arkansas beating Gonzaga 74-68, and Houston beating Arizona 72-60. Gonzaga, I watched a little bit of that game. Chet Holmgren was in foul trouble. He ended up fouling out. That was a good Arkansas team. Good Arkansas win. Good win for Arkansas. Same thing for Houston. They pretty much just took it to Arizona, led most of the game, and so both of them going down. Arkansas and Houston moving on to the next round, the Elite Eight. So big for those 2 programs, not really known as basketball powerhouses like the programs they beat. So that was big. I'm excited to see some more games. I still think Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga should be the number 1 pick. For most places I've been looking, I think he will be the number 1 pick, but you never know. We'll see. Other than that, Villanova's still in, number 2 seed. They beat Michigan, who was an 11 seed, so good win for them to move on. And then, Duke, another number 2 seed, Coach K's last run, led by freshman superstar Paolo Banchero. They beat Texas Tech 78-73. So, again, good win for Duke in that one. I want to see Coach K do his thing. I think that Banchero kid is really good. As far as Villanova goes, I got my wife's little brother in a bracket. And since my bracket's done with Gonzaga, I'm rooting for his now. Just keep the winnings in the family. So Villanova, that's who we're going with now. That's who he had. So he's doing way better than me. And so if you want to root for us, Villanova all the way. And then right now I gotta check it. St. Peter's has a 4-point lead as of right now over 3 seed Purdue. So obviously, if you've been following the tournament, St. Peter's is a 15 seed. So I'm about to hop off here and turn on the end of this game. That's going to be wild if St. Peter's can make it to the Elite Eight. Obviously, I'm just rooting for them to go as far as possible at this point because it's just a great story. Some kids from New Jersey. I'm sure they're not all from New Jersey, but that's where their school is. So shout out to St. Peter's. And also, there's some other games tonight. North Carolina, UCLA, 2 blue blood programs. So I'm going to check all that out. Let me get off of here now. You guys can let me know what you think about anything. Hit me up. Let me know what I should talk about, on Monday. Over the weekend, I'm sure a lot of stuff will happen. So, I'm out for this one. Have a good weekend. If you made it this far, you might as well hit that subscribe button. Help your boy out. And, until next time, keep nerding it up. Peace.